Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Fresh Perspectives podcast with me, Emily Marie. This episode is actually part of a two-part episode, and it's the second part. So, if this is the first one that you're listening to, please go back to the previous episode. Otherwise, this one might not make too much sense. This episode is about emotional abuse. There is going to be triggering content in here. For example, talking about manipulation, gaslighting, humiliation, emotional abuse. So please feel free to put it on pause if it's something that you don't really want to listen to at the moment. However, like I said in the previous episode, if something is triggering you, that is your nervous system, it's your body screaming at you, saying that you need to look at this right now. This is for you. But again, it's a very sensitive subject, and I completely understand if you want to put it on pause. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll get straight into the second part. So let's go back to clothes. It's not like somebody saying, don't wear that because that's too short. It's more like, it's nice, but don't you think you wore something very similar the other time and then I think this looks better on you? These kind of really small little tweaks and these kind of things just go into every aspect and every area of life. So it goes to what we're eating, where we're going, who are we seeing, and it's always planting the seed. It's always not saying that you can't do something, but just saying it really subtly and always making it out like they are helping you, they are benefiting you, they are here to do good for you. I mean, it's pretty fucked up, but I have had this experience all my life. Now that I've come out of it, I've learned about how the brain works and I can see it from another perspective. So this happened so much that in the end, I was just like, what shall I wear? I could not take the pressure anymore of anything, like any decision making. I would leave it up to him because I knew it was only a belief system. It's not true. But whatever I said that I wanted to do was wrong. And it wasn't wrong as in the way that, you're wrong, you're stupid. It's more like, oh, silly, let me take care of this for you. I love you. Let's do this instead. And that is what is so fucked up about emotional abuse. You give your power away to somebody else, thinking that they have your best intentions at heart, when actually, guys, they just want to fucking crush you. They want to crush you. Something else that happened to me regularly was that he used to hide things around the house, and he used to take great pleasure in watching me for weeks look for something. These are the kind of tactics and mind games that these kind of people have. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But yeah, at the very end stage, I remember this is a thought that came into my head. I googled a mental hospital, and I googled it, and I just really wanted to see, like, what is the criteria here? Like like, do you have to be admitted, or can you just walk in and be like, take me, because I'm fucking ready to be admitted? My mind was going absolutely crazy, and now I can see why it was, because my intuition was screaming at me going, this is not right, this is not right. But because I had never been taught to listen to my intuition, I have always been taught to trust other people. If somebody is saying that they love you, trust that. People who is your boyfriend will have good intentions. The thing with emotional abuse is that there's nothing physical, so you can't put, two and two together. It's not like this physical act has happened and now it's left a mark, and I know in my brain that that is wrong. Emotional abuse is all the mind games. the manipulation, the gaslighting, the little techniques. And these people know you. They know you so, so well. They know what's going to trigger you. They know how to get you to do things that you don't want to do. And it's always going to be in your best interests. So right at the very end, I was like, just someone like fucking straitjacket, please, because I'm going. I need to be admitted. Like, honestly, guys, like, get me the fuck out of here. I will do a bigger episode on how I felt during the last few months. Again, it's going to be really hard to. I would definitely like split these up into sections. But for this time being, I remember right at the end, I was Googling mental homes, and something in me snapped. And something in me, my intuition screaming at me and was like, it is not you. You are not the crazy one. You are not too sensitive. You are not stupid. You are not crazy. There is fucking something going on here. And something in me was like, I am going to find out. And I just remember having that energy, having my intuition turned on and just being like, I am going to find the fucking, what is this? I'm going to find it out. I remember just like a surge of energy and just thinking, holy shit, it is not me. I am fucking amazing. This whole time I have been told that I am stupid, that I am silly, that I am too sensitive, that I don't understand things. You know, my family don't really, they're too good. It's too good family. We don't understand. We don't understand things. All of these belief systems are being in my head. And I remember just the day that I cracked, and cracked in a good way, because it was just a surge of like, this is stopping right now. Hell fucking no, this is stopping. Also, just to point out that this guy is an alcoholic, he's a cocaine addict, and to get to that stage, you need your own problems. And just to put it out there, I really, really hope that this guy heals, that he realises how he uses people, and he realises the techniques, his communication, his alternative motives, and he gets self-awareness and he really changes. I don't think that that's going to happen in this lifetime, but I really hope that he becomes a happy person, because I'm 37 now, and he's the most unhappiest person I've ever come across in my whole life. So I really hope that this guy just finds happiness. If somebody told me that this guy changed, he stopped drinking, he stopped doing drugs, he's married, he's got children, he's faithful and he's loving, I'd be like, yes. Oh my God, thank you, God. Thank you, universe. I would absolutely love that for him. I'd fucking love it. And this is the neutral place that I've got to right now. So just to go back to when I was feeling like, hell no, I am going to find this shit out. And I remember it was a normal Saturday night. He was absolutely drunk out of his mind. I was having a few drinks with him, and I remember just like my intuition was like, just stop drinking. And I did. I switched to like sparkling water or whatever it was. I stopped drinking. I pretended I was going to have vodkas and stuff, but I was just having like sparkling water, or just not a drink at all. And I watched him get more drunk and get more drunk. We were going into Warsaw on a night out, and I remember just being like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't even like you. Like, I don't even like this place. I don't even like these people around me. Like, I don't want to get drunk. What am I even doing here? I don't like any of this situation, and this is my fucking life. So what am I even doing? So I remember going, you know what? I'm going back home. And that was so unusual for me, so out of character. He could not believe it, and he was like, oh, okay, I'll come back home with you, as if like there was going to be someone at home or something. I was just like, yeah, I'm going home. And he was like, okay, wow, I'm going home with you. So we went back home, and he passed out. This guy is unfortunately an alcoholic. Alcoholism is not pretty, and he would drink himself to sleep most nights. So this wasn't something out of the norm. This was something that I knew that was going to happen. So he is just completely KO'd in bed, completely KO'd. You just can't wake him up. And I was like, I knew. And I had had that feeling throughout this whole relationship. I knew that there was something wrong, and I could not put my finger on what it was. I could not put my finger on what it was. And if you research it, guys, this is the feeling that you have when you are emotionally abused and you don't understand what's going on. You have an underlying feeling that something's not quite right, something is off, and you can't put your finger on what it is because of everything that's going on around you. Everything is for your benefit. Everything is happening because, I'm doing this because you're a little bit stupid, so I'll take care of it. Can you do this for me? Like, it's just hard to explain if you've never had that feeling before and if you haven't been in that circumstance. But this is why I'm trying to explain it in the best way possible, so other people can have empathy around it and self-awareness around it. And it's so hard to put a feeling in words because feelings and words are two separate languages. But research it, Google it. You have a feeling that something is wrong and you just can't put your finger on it. Also, another big feeling is that you're treading on eggshells a lot. From what I know now, I was always treading on eggshells. But if somebody had gone up to me in that moment in time and said, oh, I feel like you're treading on eggshells, I wouldn't have believed it because that feeling was my actual normal feeling. It was like my normal reality. So I actually didn't realise that I was treading on eggshells because to me it was just a normal feeling. It was my normal day. What had happened was that I had been emotionally abused slowly. And over a period of years, it just became my normal reality, and I completely forgot what normal reality was. And that was just my normal day, guys. It was just having these feelings of treading on eggshells and feeling that something's not right and I can't put my finger on it was my normal feeling every single day for like 10 years, 11 years. Crazy. So going back to the bedroom situation, he's lying in bed, absolutely KO'd. I'm like, I need what I needed at that time. I needed evidence. I needed proof that something was wrong because my mind was like mush back then. It was so manipulated, so humiliated, so on high alert, always on high alert. Actually, when I had my first therapy session, the therapist said that my mind was very much like a prison officer that she has therapeutic sessions with, because this prison officer is always on high alert and he knew that around every corner could be danger, and that was the equivalent of my brain. I was always on high alert, and again, that was my norm. For 11 years of my life, my nervous system was on high alert, and I had no idea because I didn't know what normal was. So because of all these feelings and trying to process things that I hadn't, I always thought that my relationship was great, and I know that that sounds crazy. The peer group that I was in, there was a lot of domestic violence going around, and I always thought to myself, oh, like, I don't get hit. I have like such an amazing boyfriend. How fucking crazy is that? That was my mindset and that was my brain back then. And everything was for show. Everything was different when we were with other people to when we were at home. And again, I didn't put two and two together, and there would always be an excuse afterwards. Oh, I'm having a bad day. I'm this and that. And I'm going off topic here because I'm going really, really into it, but that is another topic for another episode about how this kind of manipulation tactics can really get into someone's head. But for this one, I just really wanted to talk about a few different situations that happened to me. So the ones that I just talked about and the one that I am going to talk about now, about how I got out of the situation. So I needed proof, guys. I needed fucking solid evidence. So I got his phone when he was asleep, and I needed to check that phone. I needed proof. I needed something. And I remember, and I was so fucking scared. I was so scared. I got his thumb and I put his thumb on his iPhone, whatever it's called. I mean, now we've got the face recognition, but back in those days, this was like, 9 years ago. It was, you'd put your finger over like a button. So I'd put his thumb over there, and guys, it didn't fucking work. And I was like, what the hell? He doesn't use his thumb. Who does not use your thumb to do this? So I used his other finger and it didn't work. And I was so scared. And looking back, like, you shouldn't be scared of your own partner. Like, why was I scared to do that? It is crazy. So in the end, I remember just thinking, I'm getting into this phone. I just had that surge of energy again, and I was like, I am figuring this out. I need to get into that phone, and that is what I am doing. And I remember waking him up, like shaking him, and just being like, what's your password? What's your password? What's your password for your phone? I mean, I don't know what the hell came over me. And this guy is so drunk, he doesn't know what's going on, and he's muttering it under his breath. He's like, brr, brr. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, I need to get into this phone so bad. So I'm like shaking him. He's like, what's your password? What's your password? And then he tells me the combination, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. Do the combination, and I get in there, and I go into the spare room, lock the door, and I'm in his phone. And I was like, oh my actual life, I am in there. First thing I did was I went straight to WhatsApp, you know what I mean, WhatsApp. And I still can't believe all these years later what I found. It was so disturbing. It shook me to the core. I felt physically sick. So he had loads of different chats with loads of different people. He was cheating on me for like years and years and years and years. There was all these chats about, basically he was saying that he had been in an argument with me, and that he needed some space from me, and that he was like looking for like some girls. And I'm like, what? Looking at these dates, we never fell out. You told me that you were going away for a couple of days, and I, wished you goodbye and put your fucking boxers in the wash. Like, what the hell? There was just lies upon lies upon lies, and just the most. Actually, hats off to him. So inventive. Like the most elaborate stories, the most elaborate storylines. I was actually in awe of it. I was like, holy fuck. He'd even given himself personas. So I'm not going to say the name, but let's say my name's Emily. So let's say it would be something similar to this. So in one group chat where he would be with one group of friends, he would be called Emily. And then on another group chat with another group of friends, he would be called M. And then another one, it would be ME or MEB. And then another one, it would be like, I don't know, Emily Lee Lee. And I'm like, oh my God, he's actually created different personas. He goes out with different friendship groups and he has literally a different personality. Like he would, in these WhatsApp groups, he even had like a different tone of voice and like literally recreating like almost characters, like almost, well, acting basically. Who is the real one? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know, which is quite sad. But I just remember being horrified because in one of them, like, it was festivals and like I remember like oh man, oh God, it's like funny and sad at the same time. So he would match his character and persona to what that group were basically looking for in a person to be accepted. So let's say one group, they're into yoga. He'd be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm into yoga too. And I've done this and that. And then with another one, he was, you know, in one of these group chats, oh, he was so into black girls. Oh yeah, you know, can't wait for like the black pussy and all of this. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, literally fucking psychopath next door. And then with other ones, he's like, oh yeah, you know, can't wait for like these hippie girls, these hippie white girls. And then with like another group chat, he's like talking about, it was really derogatory, really. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. But the way that he was talking about women, I was absolutely horrified. And the way that he was talking about me and portraying me as basically what he had been doing to me was just unfathomable and crazy. But it's what I fucking needed. I needed some evidence. Hey, I probably didn't need that much evidence. I remember I stopped after 20 minutes. I was like, this is too much. And I never went back into it again. It was, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could have gone for hours and hours and hours. I really, really could have. But I didn't. It was about 20 minutes. And what I did, I screenshotted loads of messages and I emailed them to myself because I knew that in the morning he would try and excuse everything. He would say that I am stupid, that I've been seeing things, that I didn't know what I was talking about, that like he would have probably deleted all the messages and then he'd be like, go on my phone right now, go on my phone right now. He'd always say things like this, you know, do this right now, call this person right now. And I would always like, no. I'd always like have this inkling and then it would always be shut down. Call this person right now and ask them, do this right now and ask them. So I did that to prove to myself that this is fucking real. I am not making this up. I am not crazy. I am not super sensitive. This is what's going on and it's going on right now. Now, there is another part to this story which I will get into in another episode, which involves a best friend. Oh, poor Emily back then. Poor me. I love the me man now. I love the Emily. Oh, I just fucking love all the versions of Emily, man. And this is what everyone should do. Love all the versions of yourself. I feel sorry for that version of me, but I also fucking love her at the same time. And I think what I did was absolutely incredible. Like, just imagine years and years and years of being beat down and then just one day being like, hell no, no more. I am so proud of myself. for that version of me. But yes, there is another storyline to this where I am so sure that my best friend was, at that time, she's not a best friend anymore, was involved in I don't even know why I'm trying to beat around the bush and say something really like professional about it. She was fucking him. She was fucking him. Like, oh, my actual life. And then afterwards, I confided in her with what everything was going on and the stuff that I found. And she said to me that she wanted to borrow my laptop because she had this design project or something. I know what it was. She really wanted to look in my emails and try and get all these screenshots to see if she was in there. That's exactly what it was. But that's a completely different side note. And also, I send love to this person too. At that moment in time, she was not in the best mental health. She was grieving. Obviously, it doesn't excuse anything. I also feel that she has the similar personality type. I wish them both the best. I really, really do. And the same thing is also happening to her as well. I just feel that with these types of situations, when you have been emotionally abused for so long, you don't know what's real anymore. You don't know what your reality is. So I really feel sorry for both of them. And we'll just leave it as that. So yeah, I found these messages. I screenshot them. I emailed them to myself. I had the fucking evidence. And in the morning, I was just like so scared. The mask had come off, guys. The mask had come off. I was looking at him at his core and it was rotten. And I was absolutely disgusted that I was literally in a bed with this person. I was just so disturbed. And that was only 20 minutes. Like, what else had been going on throughout all of these years? I don't want to know. And I just remember feeling like I'd got my power back. Feeling so empowered. Feeling that, oh my God, all these years, that feeling inside me was right. That feeling inside me was right. I am not crazy. And I have the evidence. I can't really remember how I went about it. I think I just literally blurted it out. I was just like, you've been cheating on me. And he was like going absolutely mental, which is his favourite tactic, to scream and shout, call me crazy, just be like, I fucking love you. You are the best thing that has ever happened to me. How dare you? How dare you even suggest it? You are the love of my life. You are amazing. You are like so pretty. You are like, oh, you're just the best thing ever. How dare you even come up with this? And I was like, I've been through your phone. And he was just, his face just went absolute, like, just looked down on the floor, completely silent, like a child actually, like when a child's done something wrong and they just look down on the floor. And when he realised that I had got my power back, I knew exactly the kind of person that he actually is. I'd taken the mask off and I can see him for his core and see him for what he truly is. The first thing that he said to me was, and get this, guys, he said, everyone's going to think I'm a fucking cunt now. Oh, so it's got nothing to do with how I'm feeling. It's all about how he is perceived in the world. And that is, like, literally, mic drop. That is just how these people think. They don't think of you at all. And it's sad. They don't have the same brains. They don't have the same brain capacity, empathy to understand what a normal person would understand. And at that time, one of my friends was getting married. And another thing that came out of his mouth straight away was like, oh, I'm not going to be invited to that wedding now. Oh, so it's got nothing to do with, like, no accountability at all. No accountability. Just all about how he's going to be perceived. And, oh, he's not going to get free booze at a wedding now. I'm laughing because, hey guys, you've got to laugh. Like, I love that version of me. I feel sorry for that version of me. I went through so much pain back then, and it's just amazing that I'm just sitting here laughing about it because it is like so funny when you think about it, like from a completely neutral, different perspective. So I feel that that is a really good place to leave the story. After this, I still had no idea that I had been emotionally abused. Actually, I'm going to pick the story back up. This is very, very important. I had no idea, guys. I left because he cheated on me. I had no idea that I was in an emotionally abusive relationship. No idea at all. In fact, I didn't even know emotional abuse existed. I didn't know what that term meant. I didn't know anything about it. That's how sheltered I was. And, to give myself credit, this was years ago, probably, let me think, 9 years ago, so nearly a decade ago. Was emotionally abuse and narcissists really spoken about back then? Personally, I don't think it was. Not in my reality, not in my world anyway. So I had no idea. I had no idea that this has happened. In my brain, I'm leaving because someone had cheated on me. And that's what I was always looking for. I was always looking for physical evidence because my parents have always said, if someone lays a finger on you, you leave. If someone cheats on you, you leave. It's always physical things, which is, it's great parenting. Good. 100%. And you should. If anyone lays a finger on you, fucking, leave. If anyone cheats on you, hell no, leave. But there was nothing mentioned about these kind of manipulation tactics and really tapping into your intuition and feeling that something is not right. And that's only because my parents don't know about, like, if I told them all of this, they would be, what's the word? They would be flabbergasted. What a cringy word to use, but I've used it. Like, they would. I have tried to tell them in bits what's happened, but I've never told them in this way. And I want to protect my parents. I don't want them to feel that anyone is to blame except me. It's my life, my accountability, my responsibility. I got myself in that situation, and what a gift to understand those kind of dynamics and to be out of that situation now. After that situation, I started to process things, but I only really understood what had happened to me when I met my amazing boyfriend, who I am with now, who is actually my fiance. So when I met him, it was like a year later. It was it was the next year, and it was my nervous system. Meeting him was so triggered because I was so used to be treated in a way that my ex treated me. I didn't understand why someone was trying to be nice, and now that is fucked up. That is so weird that you don't understand why someone wants to walk you to your car, wants to buy you a drink, wants to, like, I could just tell the energy with him that there was no hidden agenda. It was a completely different dynamic, and that triggered me so much because I had never experienced that before. And I remember this story. I remember that I think it was our second date, or no, our third date. We went for a lovely little restaurant, a meal in an Italian restaurant, and it was just literally, guys, like the nicest day ever. So, so lovely. Like, this guy is amazing, really interested in me, and we have so similar interests, and the conversation is just there, easy to talk to. This guy, I don't know why I'm saying this guy, he's my boyfriend, he's amazing. At the end of when we finished our food, he picks up his plate and he like drinks the juice. I always bring this up and I'm like, what is he doing? He's drinking the juice. I'm like, oh my God, he must be really like comfortable to be in my surrounding, to be on a third date, just like drinking meat juice off a plate. I was like, oh, this guy's the one for me. So I remember that date night really specifically because afterwards he was walking me to my car and we were linking arms. We were literally just had the most like lovely, relaxing, like-minded evening together. He walked me back to my car and I had this extreme urge to just shove him away, literally just get his arm and just push him away and run and just fucking run. And I had never experienced that before. I'm like, what is going on? And I was just, everything in me was just be normal, like don't be a psychopath, don't push him away and run. Like, what are you even thinking of that for? And I really just had this, everything in me just wanted to run. And if I did run that night, I would have just kept on going. There was just so much energy in my legs to just run. And it was the most craziest experience afterwards. Obviously, I styled it out. We had a little kiss. He walked me back to my car, sorry. And I drove home. And then afterwards I spoke to my sister and she was like, oh, how was your date? I was like, Lou, the fucking weirdest thing happened. And I told her about the whole thing and she was like, yeah, that's like pretty weird. And I was like, I know, right? What is that? So we Googled it. Good old Google. And the first thing that popped up was if you experience this type of behaviour, so if you want to run away from a relationship or a new relationship, then you might have experienced emotional abuse in your previous relationship. And I was like, emotional abuse? God, that's never happened to me. Another thing about me is that at that time I was running a business and my persona, very professional, ran a creative marketing agency. I feel like a very fit person, go to the gym, I take care of myself. I feel I'm very well educated. In my head and in my own belief system, people who are quote unquote abused are not people like me. And that is a very naive statement to make, to say that that was my mindset back then. But these kind of dynamics can pop up anywhere and it doesn't matter about your status, your job, it doesn't matter about anything like that. In fact, I read an amazing article about how narcissists, emotionally abusive partners, sociopaths, these kind of types of personalities, they actually like to pick people who are, what's the word, quote unquote, well-to-do, you know what I mean? Like they have good jobs. The article was from a politician and she went through the same experience and she had the same mindset. She was like, oh, I'm a politician, these things don't happen to me. But actually, when someone has something to give, so let's say their status, their money, they've got a good career, I was generous with my money back then. When these people can see that they can use you for something, it's actually better for them. The higher you are, the more stuff that they can use you for. And I'm sorry to say it, I have really done extensive research in this, but it's also a bit more like it's the thrill of cracking and breaking someone who is just so fucking amazing. Like, what's the point of cracking and breaking someone into a shell and controlling someone who hasn't got, it's hard to say these kind of things, but hasn't got a job, or hasn't, not that these things don't happen to, they could happen to absolutely anyone, but there is, I have seen lots of different information and research out there that says that it's a mindset thing to have someone with a more to give. It's more, what's the word? A challenge. That's the word. More of a challenge to break down. How fucking crazy is that? So anyway, yes, I Googled me really wanting to run away, and I was like, after a few days, I integrated it, I processed it, and then I came back to my sister and I was like, Lou, maybe I have been emotionally abused. And that was the starting point. That was the starting point of me realizing my experience and also accepting love from somebody else, and a completely different form of love. And I feel that you can only accept something like that when you feel it inside of yourself, when you understand your worth and you understand your value. And I was a match for it then. So just to put it out there, my relationship with my boyfriend is absolutely amazing. If we do have different opinions, we have conflict resolution, we have discussions, we have conversations, we are so open and honest with each other. He can just, I'm happy for him to go out and do whatever. I actually see it as very healthy for him to go out with friends. And sometimes when he hasn't done it in a while, I'm like, don't you want to go out and see your friends? It's healthy for people to do their own thing, have their own hobbies. It's great to come together and do things together as well. But it's healthy for couples to know who they are, express their own interests in their own unique ways. And with me and my boyfriend, I really feel that we have such a strong foundation and a really strong, healthy relationship. And I just want to put that out there, because 11 years of emotional abuse, if somebody saw that in a document or something, they might not have realised what I've got now. So I really want to just tell everyone the challenge is the mindset that I had, like the brain that I had back then, the dynamic that I found myself in and had no idea that I was in that type of dynamic, and where I am now, which is like the most supportive relationship I could ever dream of. So hopefully this has brought clarity to people who haven't been in this dynamic. I do feel that this is a real big life lesson of mine, and I am really aiming to put out more information about these kind of dynamics and more information about patterns in the brain and how they are all connected. I also hope that it's reached someone out there that has maybe found themselves in this type of dynamic and is out of the dynamic and is processing things themselves. It is, humans learn from other human experiences, so hopefully you can not feel alone. This stuff happens all the time. It's our programming from childhood, from the education system, from religious beliefs. Everything has its pros and cons. I'm not saying that all of these things are bad. I'm just saying in my circumstance, my brain picked up the bad programming. It picked up the bad programming of these things and ran with it. And hopefully my intention as well is to reach someone who is in this dynamic. And if you have that feeling that I have described, and it is so hard to describe a feeling that you're maybe treading on eggshells, or, forget about the eggshells one. It is a feeling that you know that something isn't quite right, it's just not quite right, and you can't put your finger on it. That is the feeling that you need to look out for. Hopefully, this has been informative. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I am still in bed. My dog is asleep next to me. He's just looked at me and he's like, right, time for a walk. I'm going to leave it there, and I hope that me putting myself out there and talking about these experiences is going to just help one person out there. If it does, please feel free to DM me. Please feel free to send this episode to someone who might need to hear it, might need to process things, or maybe they're just interested, like me, in patterns in the brain and find these kind of things very interesting, which I really do as well. So thank you guys for listening, and hopefully see you on the next one.